Music is the movement of sound to reach the soul for the education of its virtue. When Plato gave this quote, there was no way he could know the importance it would have in the future. Back before sports became more important than school, and being with your family was more important than hanging out with friends, music was something prized so highly that only the richest people in the world had access to it. And it was not even until hundreds of years later that music was integrated into public school systems. Back then, and even until recently, music has not been taken for granted. In fact, music used to come before many academic studies in schools. But now, with budget cuts happening all over the country, many schools are struggling to keep music in their academic system. When schools make budget cuts, they tend to look at the fine arts departments first. However, most people do not realize the importance that music has on their students and children. According to DoSomething.org, children who study music are more likely to excel in their studies and critical thinking skills, as well as work better in teams than students who choose to opt out of learning a musical instrument. In this speech, I'm going to break down the main reasons that music education needs to remain in our public school systems, and ways that we can help raise awareness for the power of music. The first reason that music education needs to remain in the public school systems is because of the effects it has on the brain. Many people's reasoning for taking music out of the school system is that it isn't important in students' learning processes or their health. And now in many school districts, it is required to take a physical education class, but not a vocal or instrumental class. On the contrary, however, music is the best exercise for the brain. Music can train the brain in many different ways. When we sing, our brains are doing all of the work. The brain has to be trained to tell the difference between tones and pitches. Our brain is working twice as hard when we sing than when we're talking. Another amazing thing that music does for our brain is to help our memory improve. In fact, elementary children who take music classes show more brain development and better memory skills in 1 year than children who didn't take a music class. Other studies show that performing in a music group or class helps to train the brain to be able to listen better with a noisy background. This is because in music groups, you are assigned to one part of something that has many parts, whether it be instrumental or vocal, and you have to learn to focus on your part by itself. A great example of how music affects the brain is the use of music therapy. MusicTherapy.org explains the processes used during music therapy. Since music plays such a big role in how the brain works, music therapy is a great way of helping people no matter what their age. And because one whole part of the brain responds only to music, it's important that students participate in some kind of music class so that all of their brain is being exercised. So if music is such an important part of keeping our brains healthy, you have probably already figured out that music also plays a huge role in children's academic accomplishments. Music helps students in every kind of academic field. Students that participate in a high-quality music program, regardless of the school's socioeconomic status, score an average of 22% higher on English standardized tests and an average of 20% higher on math standardized tests. Another test music students scored higher on was the college entrance exam. On average, students that took a music class throughout high school scored 44 points higher on the math section and 63 points higher on the verbal section, according to an article on musicempowersfoundation.org. The reason behind students scoring higher on standardized tests is something we've already discussed: the increased memory skills. This is one of the most important things to have, especially in high school and college. Memorization is key, and music helps to lock in all of the things you learn during class day to day, making studying for that big test much easier. Memorization is also important in another subject area. Studies have shown that performing music helps the way that the brain understands the human language, which makes it much easier to pick up on a second language. PBS.org recently published an article on the benefits of music education and did some studies on the IQ levels of students involved in music. On average, the IQ points were 3 to 6 points higher than the children who did not participate in music groups. There are many other associations promoting the positive effects music has on students as well. Friends of Jeff County Music is a music advocacy group founded by music instructors all over Jefferson County. Michelle Ear, a co-founder of the organization, understands children's wants and needs to have music in their lives. She gave this quote during an interview with the Denver Post. "The children understand the value of what music education can do for a child, whether it's academic, whether it's social, whether it's emotional, but they understand the benefits of music education." Another reason that we need to keep music in our school systems is the effect it has on children's social skills. A very obvious reason why music is great when developing social skills is the simple fact that you get to be in a group. Many children who are shy or don't enjoy being the center of attention can appreciate performing in a music group just as much as someone who loves to be in the spotlight. In fact, music is often a way for children to break out of their shells. Recent studies from the Do Something campaign show that children who study fine arts cooperate better with their teachers and peers, have higher self-confidence levels, and express their ideas more frequently. Other studies have shown that teenagers who participate in music show the lowest current and lifetime use of substances than secondary students who did not take a music class. Now that we've talked about all of the benefits of keeping music education alive, let's talk about some of the ways you can help out. Like I've mentioned earlier in my speech, there are many advocacy groups out there that you can follow on Twitter and Facebook, like Friends of Jeff County Music. Other groups, such as the Do Something campaign, let you be a part of their systems. But the easiest and most powerful thing you can do is to go to your local school board meetings when they're going to discuss budget cuts. It really does make a difference to them if they know there are locals who think children deserve a chance to participate in music while they grow as a person. So now you know that music really is vital for your children and the children of future generations. Why? Let's recap what we've discussed. You now know that music is important because of its strong and long-lasting effects on the brain. Not only does music improve our memory, but it also helps train our brain to function faster and listen better. Music also helps to develop social skills in children, which is something very pertinent when they exit school and go into the real world. We've also discussed that you can help change the way district education boards view music in the public school system. Websites like DoSomething.org have made it easier than ever to let our voices be heard. Just remember how important it is to teach others about the amazing lifelong effects music has on our body and our social skills. Since school districts are getting rid of music programs more and more frequently each year, it's now more important than ever to remind everyone of the positive effects of music. So don't be afraid to let your voice about music education be heard, so that students will still be able to let their voices and instruments be heard in the generations to come.